Hi, my name's Yara, or as you guys know me, a story a day. Last you saw me, I was about 9 or 8 or something. Now I'm almost 13. My fringe has gotten a bit longer, my face is less cute, my room's a bit less cute, so I'm not going to be showing you my face. Instead, I'm going to be showing you Predator's Gold by Philip Reeve. And yeah, let's just get right into it. Known that this is my first time reading Predator's Gold, so I apologize if I make any mistakes. You can read along with me if you'd like. Freya woke early and lay for a while in the dark, feeling her city shiver and sway beneath her as its powerful engines set it skimming across the ice. Sleepily, she waited for her servants to come and help her out of bed. It took her a few moments to remember that they were all dead. She threw off the covers, lit the argon lamps, and waded through dusty mounds of cast-off clothes to her bathroom. For several weeks now she had been working up the courage to have a shower, but once again, this morning, the complicated controls in the shower stall defeated her. She couldn't make the water come hot. In the end, she just filled the hand basin as usual and splashed her face and neck. There was a sliver of soap left, and she rubbed some into her hair and plunged her head under water. Her bath servants would have used shampoo, lotions, salves, conditioners, all sorts of pleasant-smelling balms. But they were all dead, and the rack upon rack of bottles in the walk-in bathroom cabinet intimidated Freya. Faced with so much choice, she chose to use nothing. At least she had worked out how to dress herself. She picked one of her crumpled gowns from the floor, laid it on the bed, and burrowed into it from the bottom, struggling about inside until she got her arms and head out through the right holes. The long fur-trimmed waistcoat, which went over the gown, was much easier to put on, but she had a lot of trouble with the buttons. Her handmaidens had always done up her buttons, very quickly and easily, talking and laughing about the day ahead, and never, ever getting a button through the wrong hole. But they were all dead. Freya cursed and tugged and fumbled for 15 minutes, then studied the results in her cobwebby mirror. Not bad, she thought, all things considered. Perhaps some jewelry would make it look better. But when she went to her jewelry room, she found most of the good pieces gone. Things were always vanishing these days. Freya could not imagine where they went to. Anyway, she didn't really need a tiara on her sticky, soap-washed hair, or a necklet of amber and gold around her grubby throat. Mama would not approve of her being seen without jewelry, of course. But Mama was dead too. In the empty, silent corridors of her palace, the dust lay thick as powder snow. She rang for a footman and stood staring out of a window, while she waited for him to arrive. Outside, dim Arctic twilight shone gray on the frosted footsteps of her city. The floor trembled to the beat of cogs and pistons down in the engine district, but there was very little sense of movement, for this was the high ice, north of north, and there were no passing landmarks. Only a white plain, shining slightly with the reflection of the sky. Her footman arrived, patting his powdered wig straight. "Good morning, Smoo," she said. "Good morning, Your Radiance." For a moment she was seized by an urge to ask Smoo into her quarters and tell him to do something about all the dust, the fallen clothes, the lost jewelry, to make him show her how the shower worked. But he was a man, and it would be an unthinkable break with tradition for a man to enter the Margravine's private quarters. Instead, she said what she said every morning. "You may escort me to the breakfast room, Smew." Riding with him in the lift to the lower floor, she imagined her city scuttling across the ice cap like a tiny black beetle creeping over a huge white plate. The question was, where was it going? That was what Smew wanted to know. You could see it in his face, in the way his gaze kept flicking inquisitively at her. The steering committee would want to know too. Running this way and that from hungry predators was one thing. But the time had come for Freya to decide what her city's future was to be. For thousands of years, the people of Anchorage had looked to the house of Rasmussen to make such decisions. The Rasmussen women were special, after all. Had they not ruled Anchorage ever since the 60-minute war? Did not the ice gods speak to them in their dreams, telling them where the city should go, if it were to find good trading partners and avoid trap ice and predators? But Freya was the last of her line, and the ice gods did not speak to her. Hardly anybody spoke to her now. When they did it was only to inquire, in the politest possible way, when she would decide upon a course. "Why ask me?" she wanted to shout at them. "I'm just a girl. I didn't want to be Margravine." But there was no one else left for them to ask. At least this morning, Freya would have an answer for them. She just wasn't sure that they would like it. She ate breakfast alone in the high-backed black chair at a long black table. The clatter of her knife against her plate, her spoon in her teacup, seemed unbearingly loud in the silence. From the shadowy walls, portraits of her divine ancestors gazed down at her, looking slightly impatient, as though they too were waiting for her to decide upon a destination. "Don't worry," she told them. "I've made my mind up." When breakfast was finished, her chamberlain came in. "Good morning, Smew." "Good morning. Light of the ice fields. The steering committee waits, Your Radiance's pleasure." Freya nodded, and the chamberlain swung open the breakfast room doors to let the committee enter. There used to be 23 of them. Now there were only Miss Scabious and Miss Pye. Windowlen Pye was a tall, plain, middle-aged lady with fair hair done up in a flat bun, which made her look as if she were balancing a Danish pastry on her head. She had been the late chief's navigator's secretary, and seemed to understand his charts and tables well enough. But she was very nervous in the presence of her Margravine, and bobbed little curtsies every time Freya so much as sniffled. Her colleague, Soren Scabious, I apologize if I said that wrong, was quite different. His family had been engine masters for nearly as long as the city had been mobile, and he was the nearest thing Freya had left to an equal. If things had been normal, she would have been getting married to his son Axel next summer. The Margravine often took a man from the engine districts as her consort, to keep the city's engineering classes happy. But things were not normal, and Axel was dead. Freya secretly felt quite glad she would not be getting Scabious as a father-in-law. He was such a stern, sad, silent old man. His black mourning robes blended into the darkness of the breakfast room like camouflage, leaving the white death mask of his face hanging disembodied in the shadows. "Good day, Your Radiance," he said, bowing stiffly, while Miss Pye curtsied and blushed and fluttered beside him. "What is our position?" asked Freya. "Oh, Your Radiance." Sorry. "Oh, Your Radiance, We are almost 200 miles north of the Tannhauser Mountains, twittered Miss Pie. We're on the Sound sea ice, and there has been no sighting of any other city. The engine district awaits your instructions. Light off the ice fields, said Scabious. Do you wish to turn back east? No! Freya shivered, remembering how close they had come to being eaten in the past. If they went back east or turned south to trade along the edges of the ice, the huntsmen of Archangel were sure to hear about it, and with only skeleton crews to man the engines, Freya did not think her city could outrun the great predator again. Maybe we should bear west, Your Radiance, Miss Pie suggested nervously. A few small towns over winter, along the eastern edge of Greenland. We might manage a little trading. No, said Freya firmly. Then perhaps you have another destination in mind, Your Radiance, wondered Scabious. Have the gods of ice spoken to you? Freya nodded solemnly. In fact, the idea was one she had been turning around in her mind for a month or more. She did not think it had come from any god. It was just the only way she could see of keeping her city safe from predators and spy ships forever. Set course for the dead continent, she said. We are going home. Thank you for reading Chapter 1 of The Predator's Gold with me. My name is Yara, and I hope that you enjoyed this. If you have any inquiries or any feedback, please comment them in the comments below, and like and share this video with all your friends. Bye.